Right, so the Contra Mundum boys released a stream. They streamed a podcast 2 days ago, which I think is a lot closer to the time in which this sort of situation began formulating, which is that of the the article by Carl Truman on Gig EVA, critiquing Gig EVA, warning about Gig EVA, acknowledging, finally, I mean, can we just at least appreciate this, that finally there is some acknowledgement of the fact that it's not just Big EVA out there influencing the masses. There are others out there doing the Lord's work. Of course, in typical Big EVA fashion, he has to sort of lambast them and describe them as the Gig EVA. It's like, oh, they're. I mean, what does this mean? Does this mean that he thinks they're only in it for the money? Is he saying they're only in it for the money? Like, oh, this is, the paying gig. I'm a grifter. You know what I'm saying? Or what is the deal? I can't read Carl Truman's mind or his heart, obviously. So I'm just gonna pretend like I don't know, or I'm just gonna admit that I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look at what these boys had to say. Just get a little reaction.
Well, Carl Truman really does not like us. He really doesn't like that we get to say whatever we want and they can't shut us down. Right? He does not like Gig EVA. You like that phrase, CJ?
I think it's lame.
It's really dumb.
Yeah.
But we're going to run with it.
Big EVA was cool.
Big EVA was good. It was clever. Gig EVA needs some work, Carl. Anyway.
He's reaching back. He's reaching into the bag trying to find something and relate it. Just doesn't hit.
Welcome to Contra Mundum.
The American Revolution, in other words, is never finished. It must always be renewed.
Guys, I don't know much about Nixon, I'll be honest, but apparently this is like the Nixon channel.
Take back our culture and take back
whatever.
our country. God bless you.
So far, so
God
good.
bless America.
All right, we're back. We are back. Carl Truman's article, Gig EVA. Do you have it up? Do you have the clip up?
Where was it published?
I don't know. One of those dumb places.
Published on the Catholic
Orthodoxy.
No, I think it was First Things.
Catholic website.
Oh, it's First Thing. Oh, that's right. Carl is an editor at First Things.
Goodbye, Big EVA. Hello, Gig EVA. Do you want me to send it to you? Do we want to?
We don't need to read all of it because it's pedantic.
It's
and
tobacco pouch.
obnoxious. I know you didn't. You never do any prep for the show.
Base.
No, the part that got made the waves on the internet. Let's read that one. I have it in my bookmarks. Here we go. Yeah, so right here. No individual group or writer in Gig EVA will likely enjoy the breadth of influence experienced by their Big EVA forefathers. Cool. The diffuse nature of online discourse means that there will never be a focal point of the kind provided by the big conference stage in the 10,000-seat convention hall. Press X to doubt on that one. I think it's going to get there, man. Yeah. I think it's going to get there.
The fact is that I've already started doing conferences in the Gig EVA scene, and the Big EVA scene is dying. I mean, I guess the numbers were in that they actually did have a decent poll last Gospel Coalition conference, but I mean, this is just like all. I don't want to. I'm not gonna. Anyway, not yet. I agree with these guys.
And that's what he's afraid of. But
Yeah, that is what they're afraid of.
Gig EVA may well reshape significant parts of the Christian culture because it is so attuned to the pieties of the dominant expressive individualism of our day. Okay, yeah.
We haven't
I mean, that's weird. It's like the Gospel Coalition's whole thing was like relevance and all this. It was basically like a mishmash of like reformed theology and all that with like the emergent stuff, which is like, you know, relevant to culture and this and that.
even set this up for people who don't
Yeah.
even know what's going on right now.
Yeah. All right, okay, set it up. Set it
Well,
up.
I don't know. I'm learning for this for the first time too. But basically
I
the
like his
thesis
boots.
is that I haven't read it, but I've seen the discussion online.
That's all you need
Basically,
to know.
he's lamenting the fact that there is an online influence that's crowding out the last 10 years of evangelical influence, right?
Yeah, that's right. Of all of the institutions, the seminary professors, the big EVA pastors that have big giant churches and getting invited
The
to
rising
conferences.
influence in evangelicalism is podcasters and Twitter posters and all of that.
As a podcaster and influencer, CJ,
I'm not even on Twitter.
Yeah, you hardly are.
I see you on
you're,
Twitter.
You're really just on there to fight Diwali. That's
true.
the
If
Indian
there's a
demon
day when
gods.
people see me with like dozens of tweets, you can just say, "Oh, CJ's on a road trip. He's
Yes.
driving."
He's driving right now.
Right
That's he's
That's
got
my
his head on a swivel, looking out for illegal truck drivers and tweeting at the same time. So yeah, I'll keep reading this section here.
I can I just say as an observer, like I appreciate some of the banter and everything. It just makes my reaction video a little bit more difficult, you know, because it's just sort of awkward for me. So if you guys recognize that, you know, a leech like me would really appreciate a little bit more to the point. Let's get to the point.
But I mean that's the attuned to the pieties of the dominant expressive individualism of our day, and it's like I've read his book. You've read his book.
Good book.
And it's pretty good. But the irony of all of it is like he gets high in his own supply, man. Like he acts like he is not tapping into the expressive individualism of the day. And Big Eva never did that, right? Or that they're not responsible for the cultural conditions.
Well, he
that
has
have
an
created-
internet.
That's wild. Like he has a podcast where there's a whole like large church controversy about his podcast, Mortification of Sin or whatever,
He has an internet
of spin. Yeah, it's like a play on Owen's book or whatever.
column. He has a blog site. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where he does all of his. This is the thing. Like, we have to lean into the tools that are at our disposal.
Yeah,
Yeah, like everybody's gonna do it.
older guys that are like, "Oh, I'm not gonna use Twitter. I'm not gonna use social media. I'm too good for that." But it's like then these are the guys that don't need to.
Yeah.
Right. They write in the big journal article, submit articles in the big journals. They have a comfy sinecure at a seminary. Like Ligon Duncan makes like $500,000 a year. Right. Like.
It is interesting, like the way that there's this dynamic between, you know, Gig Eva, smaller guys or whatever, the upcoming, the non-Big Eva, and then there's the Big Eva, and so it's like there's this clashing. But that's not like the clashing is I don't think the clashing has as much to do with that as much as maybe that's the focus or the way that Truman maybe wants to put it, or Big Eva wants to put your focus. The real contention, the real tension between the two has to do with the fact that some people actually talk about what's happening in a truthful, honest, biblical way, and some people will sort of speak in code and light and fluffy language and skirt around things, and they'll obfuscate, and they'll misdirect, and again, like you're supposed to think that like it's a bad thing, or like it's a weird thing that there's a Gig Eva, that there's this but But that's, I don't think that's actually what he's concerned about. I think what actually he's concerned is that there's criticism, that he can be criticized, and just like stop, And this has been a thing. Like, Gospel Coalition has done this before. The Gospel Coalition has posted articles before warning, about no named online bloggers or whatever, and it's like. It's just odd because you're talking to Christians, right, who are given the Holy Spirit and given discernment, and it's like, if I hear truth, like, as a Christian, like, well then what's wrong with like, what's wrong with heeding that truth or listening to that truth? Like, if somebody's telling the truth, somebody's being honest, like, what's wrong with that? Even the scriptures quote like true things from non-believers, so it's just a weird thing. Like Truman will have you learn from Catholics who are not Christian, but you can't learn from Christians that aren't in Big Eva. Like, what? It's just weird.
Oh, like he needs to be on Twitter, right? Like, no. But what they don't like is that social media, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok,
it's the same thing.
Have allowed people to criticize them.
The reason that like First Things exists is because the New York.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I mean, they pre-watched. That's exactly right. It's the ability to be criticized. They're just, I don't know. It's like this ivory tower thing. I'm sure there's more to it than that. I don't want to just like diminish it. They probably feel that they have a responsibility and a sense of authority. I'll grant it. But there's times where they've dropped the ball.
New York Times
shut them out.
Yeah, that's just how it works. And this
TikTok,
it's the same thing.
Have allowed people to criticize them.
The reason that like First Things exists is because the New York Times
shut them out. Yeah,
that's just how it works. And the
That's
old guard always is frustrated, probably resentful of the new guard, and that's exactly what's happening. It's the same transformation.
Yeah,
it's generational.
It's like, oh, they kicked us out, they excluded us from the institution. We're gonna start our own. And then they exclude people from institutions. And like, oh, no, you can't do that. Yeah. You can't do your own thing now. No.
Well, like these guys, like Carl, is he at Hillsdale or Grove City? Which one is he at?
He was at Grove City. Yeah. I think he still is.
But like those types used to be at Harvard or Princeton. And
that's right.
Those are too lib for that. It's just the way it goes. And you can start your own college now.
You could just do things. Maybe we should do that. Should we start a college?
You've been saying should.
Many people tell me that we should start a college. I think we should. I think we should have, like, there are so many non-intellectuals
the GIGACHAD college,
like guys that really should have been at Harvard and Yale and Princeton. In a better world, in based world, they totally would be. And
base world,
right? You can just, start a college with them. So maybe we will. Stay tuned.
The Gig Eva College.
The GIGACHAD EVA College. So yeah, Truman.
GIGACHIVA.
Truman.
Truman show. Giga Eva.
It's advocates. That
Does Truman know what GIGACHAD is, or Giga? Does Truman know about Giga as like an internet slang? Because I feel like if he knows, I just feel like naming it Gig Eva is sort of like a failed.
Validate their personal authenticity by their constant. Truman show. Its advocates validate their personal authenticity by their constant iconoclasm, their decrying of anything that stands in their way, and their priority of disembodied, cost-free online engagement over the more expensive demands of service and accountability from real people in real time, in church and in homes. Big Eva had its problems. Gig Eva. Yeah, you were one of them, Carl. And Amy Bird, your friend Amy Bird, which you've never apologized for that. You never said, like, sorry, everybody, I brought a feminist into the fold and I attacked anybody who had suspicion about her. Okay, Carl. Big Eva had its problems. Understatement of the millennium. Gig Eva is set only to intensify them. Right. Well, here's the thing, Carl.
Aren't these guys pastors, by the way? Like, these guys just aren't like random internet weirdos, like sitting in the dark, just recording themselves or something. It's like, come on, Carl.
Mr. Truman, is he a doctor? Dr. Truman,
Probably.
Dr. Truman, PhD, whatever you are. If you guys weren't so terrible, if you hadn't screwed everything up for the last 30 years, right, and had so many great sins, God would not have sent podcasters like us.
Oh, podcaster again.
You're a podcaster again, buddy. Like that, but that's the thing. Like they have no self-awareness. Like he started to approach a little bit of self-awareness there. Like, oh, Big Eva had some problems, but these guys are worse. These guys are way, way, way worse, right? And like the irony there too.
Like, what is worse? Like, again, there is accountability. I mean, these guys are pastors, as far as I know, and I don't understand this sentiment of like danger. It's a weird caution. It's a weird like concern, bro, like tick that these guys have.
Is like, for one, actually, yeah, I have read the whole thing, and nowhere does he name anyone. Right. So who's he talking about here? Is he talking about you and me?
He's talking about Steven and
he's talking about Steven. He's talking about Joel. Is he talking about Doug Wilson? Is he talking about
Ogden?
Yeah, who exactly is he talking about? He doesn't really name any names. This is what they do. They don't name. It's like, oh, that person could be a big Evaite. There could be
Gig Evite.
There could be or gig Evaite.
Yeah.
Right. There could be gig Eva people here. Never been in this neighborhood before.
So
right, they make it vague. They don't want you to know exactly who it is you're talking about, because then they could defend themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's like the number one issue you'll run into. Like, I think it's like, if you criticize, you've now like, it's like, you better have a good reason. You better have a good reason to have criticized. And if your reason is that, like, well, they promoted a feminist, they promoted this, they gave this woman a platform who was obviously going down the road of feminist, egalitarian apostasy. If you criticize that, it's like, well, don't women have a right to speak? And I don't know, what's your legit, it's like, now you're just being judgmental for no reason.
So then they could do the whole thing of like, oh, I guess
it's like
you throw a rock into a pack of wolves and the barking dog got hit.
They're decrying of anything that
Right,
stands
yeah.
in the way. The priority of disembodied, cost-free online engagement over
Yeah, and it's like whoever complained about the article is who he's talking about. It's like it just works itself out, I guess.
the more expensive demands of service to real people. Priority of disembodied, cost-free online engagement over the more expensive demands of service to real people in real time. The problem is if you name names and then you actually look at their lives, there's a lot of good guys that are doing real-time, real-life things.
Real
in
ministry.
Local churches.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
And schools and all of that.
And every single one of the guys that we
that
named,
we've mentioned, yeah.
You're right. That every single one of them is in a church, is either a pastor or a churchman, layman, under the authority of a session, under the authority of someone else, right, in a church. Now, they maybe don't like that. Oh, well, Doug Wilson, right? I think he's also talking about Doug. That's why he didn't name it, right? Doug, well, he just started his own denomination, right? He doesn't have a seminary degree. Like all those kinds of attacks, right?
It's weird. I mean, if he is talking about Doug, it's weird because Doug was, well, I guess Doug was brought into Big Eva and then he was like canceled from it, right? Like he was like shut. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, actually, no, we can't have this guy. But yeah, I wonder if Doug. I didn't think of Doug actually. Like he's not really the first person that came to my mind. But I do think that maybe it's maybe the smaller guys. I don't know, but it's just it would be interesting if Doug was one of them, because Doug was, like I said, he's sort of got a name. He's become a sort of Big Eva now. He's a mid, he's upper mid Eva.
Oh, Brian Sauvé doesn't have I don't think he does. Does it have a seminary degree? Eric Kahn does. They and their church isn't part of a denomination, so we can't kick them out of the PCA.
It's also weird. It's like, oh, all this money and whatever. He's literally like he's literally trying to make you think that there's this. You're supposed to value the prestigiousness, the money. Is that like partiality? Doesn't the Bible speak of that, like having partiality for the rich and stuff like that? It's like he's literally saying like we are. Dude, it's weird. I don't even.
Right. That's what they do.
Yeah, they want you in a denomination so they can kick you out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, it's the same thing like with Foster right now. Right. I mean, did you see that? You haven't been online. You didn't see this. One of the like the national partnership is all like the woke libs in the PCA, partnership coalition, something like that. Right. One of like his biggest critics, right, most vocal critics, just got arrested by the Department of Justice, by ICE, whatever.
Wait, this week?
Like today or yesterday, for soliciting a child, prostitute. Right.
No.
This guy online is like was attacking Michael because of the whole, there was that one woman, patriarchy Hannah or something, like she was pretending to be something or whatever on the internet and joining spaces or whatever. They're like, oh, this guy lacks discernment. Like this is what the guy's tweeting. Meanwhile, he's like visiting child prostitutes. Right. Like,
dude, there's no way. That's hopefully that'll wake a lot of people up.
That's like the amount of like hypocrisy in the institutions, the amount of
That's wild.
which I'm not saying that every single woke lib in the PCA is going to child prostitutes, but
Big Eva has problems.
But Big Eva has problems, right? And it's like these people, they're whitewashed tombs, right? They attack Foster because, well, how dare you attack people that, if you were in the PCA, you know what we would do to you? We would shut you down. We would defrock you. We would kick your church out if you were mentioning all this stuff. Because you know what the Westminster says about the Ninth Commandment? You're supposed to protect people's reputations. And you're posting all these things that they posted on their internet about having women pastors in effect, and you're slandering them. So we would kick you out. We would defrock you. We'd bring charges against you, but you're not the PCA, so you can't do this. Right? How dare you attack us? Right? That's their line of attack. Right? Like these institutions are so gatekept. Right? What?
I'm just laughing
at the comment.
I mean, isn't that the reason we had the Reformation, was to get out from underneath the tyrannical thumb of abusive church order or whatever.
Mutual friend of ours.
Wait, hold on. I got to look at the comments. Comment break. Here we go. Go down.
Oh, they did live stream this.
No one goes through told
You're going
to Yeah, like that was the other thing. Like you had like David Bonson retweeting this disgusting Zenati woman attacking our short king friend Eric Kahn for being short. And it's like physiognomy check.
He's got short, dude.
Right. We could actually do that now. That's on the table, apparently, at least for David Bonson, who looks like a rodent. The real
David Bonson attacked him for being short. How tall is David Bonson, dude? There's no way he's that tall. Is Wikipedia going to tell me how tall he is? I don't know. Maybe he is a little bit taller than he's got to be at least 6 foot or something. I don't know.
Controversy is that nobody close to Truman has told him to shave his head, bro. Holding on to those lost 8 hair follicles for dear life. Yeah, I mean, we could get. I care about Carl enough to let him know, like, yeah, buddy. Once it's gone. I mean, mine's starting to go a little bit too. I get called to Norwood all the time. You might want to consider it. You might want to. I mean, maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe in Britain, the wisp covering the top of the bald head. I'm entering Elijah in the youth's territory here. Maybe a bear will come up and kill me for attacking Carl Truman.
So it is funny though, because he talks about how Big Eva is kind of on its way out. And I think that's very true.
He's accurate. Yeah.
So he knows.
Like you'd have to be
he sees the signs.
You have to be a dullard to not notice that.
Do you think that Truman was part of Big Eva, or saw himself always as distant from it?
I think he saw himself outside of it, even
above
though
it.
he was in good graces.
Yeah.
Right. I think they always kept him as like, oh, there's that funny, what is he, Scottish, British, some guy from the British Isles saying, doing some interesting analysis. I don't know if I totally agree with it. Like that's kind of the thing. Like he was always in good graces with them. But I mean, typically, but you also had, I mean, this
Yeah,
is
he
the thing.
was
You remember
involved in
the
some of their
stated
stuff.
clerk of the PCA, the controversy from like this summer before the General Assembly, where he is on a thing with Colin Hansen and he holds up a post-it note of like his enemies list. Remember that? Carl Truman's name was on there, along with like Peter Leithart and Jeff Myers and people I like. And so it's like, yeah, he's got some enemies there too, and so that's why I think he's able to talk this way. Like he's not really part of it, but he totally is, man. Like you're on the editorial board of First Things, and you will gatekeep. Like I'm never gonna be able to write on First Things. Even
Yeah, you could.
I don't know. He would shut it down, man. He would absolutely.
Didn't they
shut
publish
it down.
Gomez?
They did, and
I think
I'm not gonna
on
say other things I know about that situation.
There's,
but,
I think R.R. Reno would be okay with us.
yeah, I think he would too. But I think Carl would chimp out and threaten to leave if I published anything. If I published anything in First Things, or if Steven did, or any of our guys, right? Like if you publish something there, right? It would be awesome.
But Amy Bird, she could probably.
A great writer.
What about Amy Bird?
He is. You telling me now for the first time? He is. But like no, like Carl wants to gatekeep the institutions from people like us, right? Because we engage in like that's the other thing is like they engage in cost-free controversy, right? Like that's the thing, right? That's the ironic thing about this. Do you think Ogden is saying the things that the controversy they engage in is cost-free when you have armed Antifa showing up outside your church every Sunday now?
Yeah.
Right. Is it it's cost-free country, a bunch of keyboard warriors. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
None of them are being threatened with doxing.
Yeah, how many death threats have you gotten, Carl Truman?
Or kicked out of their churches.
Yeah, being doxxed, being kicked out of your churches for like Daniel Keene, for example. They can't tell the guy what his sin was.
Right.
They can't say, here is how you sinned. Here's what the Bible says. This is a sin. You need to repent. They did none of that. It was just like, we just don't really like your vibes, man. Right? It's a vibes-based church discipline.
Yeah, so it was the sin was he sinned against political correctness. He sinned against polite manners of Americans, left-leaning ideals about the nation, and he broached he went through the ceiling of the we're all immigrants, and I think the reason that they're pointing out Reno is because Reno actually has sees the writing on the wall for that stuff. He's like, it's Return of the Strong Gods, like this sort of the post World War II consensus or whatever is breaking down, and you're having like a change in the atmosphere and the culture, and it's shifting away from this sort of there's 1,000 words to use, but it's the liberalism. It's the let's not make a scene. Let's not like cause any problems. Let's just conserve, which it's just not working. The conserving has not conserved, and so now you're having pushback. You're having a fight from the right. It's okay for the left to fight, but it's not okay for the right to fight. So that's why he's kicked out, because he's fighting as a right. And he wasn't. He all he said was he doesn't want his nation to have these Indian rituals crowding up his streets, and he reposted a discussion about Black culture and the sins within Black culture, and that was just not acceptable. So he sinned against liberalism or whatever.
Literally, that's what it was.
Yeah.
None of that. It was just like, we just don't really like your vibes, man. Right? It's a vibes-based church discipline. Literally, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And they're like, you just get on out of here, right? None of these things they can like precisely say this is a sin, because they can't. Right? There's nothing in the Bible that says this is a sin, right? You know what is a sin in the Bible? Having women pastors is a sin. You know what the PCA does? Has lots of women pastors. They just don't call them that, right? The ministry director of thus and such, right? They do, right? There are all these things, right? You know what is a sin? Promoting sodomy, right? PCA. Lots of people did that, and they hardly kicked anybody out for that. And they've been over. Like, you remember the guy? I mean, this is like 2 or 3 years ago now, right? The guy that like challenged it on the floor of the General Assembly. You remember that speech?
No.
They gave a speech. Like he gave a speech against it, and like they censored that guy, if I recall correctly. The chat can correct me. He was just saying that like we should not be supporting things like Revoice and stuff like that. Like he was attacking Revoice, and they censored him for his language. Right, bad vibes, tone policing.
Oh, I think I
right?
remember that. Yeah, it's tone. It's tone. It's your tone. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. It was like they called order or something. It's like, order for what?
Like, this is a sin. This is wrong. You should not be doing it. You challenge it. You're the one that gets smacked around, right? When I was at General Assembly this year, Erwin Incy, however you pronounce his name, he's made all these statements. I don't like being around white people, right? Like I don't like white people. I don't like being around them. And one guy, right? This you'll like this, a rapper who's now a PCA pastor or elder, challenged him. He's like just like flat out like quoting. I mean, it's like one of these school board meetings where they quote from the trans porn at the school board meeting that people freak out, right? He's quoting verbatim what Incy was saying. It's like, oh, they like shouted him down. They shouted him down for, you're attacking his character. We won't allow that.
Oh, that's what I heard. I did.
This
I heard
is what the man said.
That. Yeah.
Right. He not only should he not be leading an organization and making like $400K a year from the pockets of your churches, right? He shouldn't even be within 10 miles of your denomination, right? That guy should be gone in a heartbeat. But if you say like, hey, I don't think we should have women pastors, boom, the hammer comes down on you, right? I don't think I believe in complementarianism. I believe what Presbyterians until the 20th century believed. Like, bam, hammer comes down on you. That's the way these institutions are. And so you wonder, you're like, why are all these guys listening to podcasters, right, that are in churches that we can't control, right? Why are they listening to them? Here, put the comments up again. I need to see the comments. Thank you. Right? Why are they listening to all these? I wonder why. Right? Because and like just even looking at like the reaction to Charlie Kirk being murdered in the churches and in like Reformed churches and PCA churches, right? It's no different than anywhere else in evangelicalism, right? Where they're terrified to say like Charlie was a good man. He was a martyr, right? He died for Jesus Christ and for proclaiming the truth. They couldn't say those things because, well, we've got a bunch of people that probably voted for Kamala Harris in our church and we don't want to offend them.
Yeah, not probably. They were told to vote for her by Big Eva. It's like, yeah, of course they can't defend Charlie Kirk or even like, pay respects or whatever because he's right wing, obviously, and they can't be right wing. You can be left wing. You can't be right wing. Anyway, 20 minutes and I'm about 35 minutes in. I don't want to do this whole thing right now, but if you guys are interested in this kind of content, I don't know. I like to add, what I can. I think this is an interesting topic, and sometimes I feel like maybe I'm not like the guy to have the authority to say all the things that need to be said, but to sort of be able to, visit, the people who are saying it that have a more of a role in that, and to kind of, add my 2 cents, sort of, be part of the conversation, I guess that's why. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye, Truman.